The reason that I'm here today is to share with you an experience that I had in my life, which was that at age 24, I tried to commit suicide. And I came so close to succeeding that I had an out-of-body experience in the emergency room where they were pumping my body out, and I was up in the corner of the room looking down at myself, thinking, why don't they let her go? Why are all those tubes in her? Why are they doing all that to her? And then in that moment, as I was having that experience, I heard a voice say, you have to go back, Carole, you have work to do. And then in that second, something felt like it punched me in my back, and I was suddenly looking up at the doctor. I didn't say goodbye to anyone except my dog. And in fact, one of the great pains that I carried for many years was that my parents were on, my father owned racehorses, and they had been at the racetrack because one of his horses was running, and they were on their way home from the racetrack, and they got a call in the car that I was in the emergency room and had tried to commit suicide, and they didn't know whether I was going to live or not. And my mother told me that from the moment that call came until they arrived at the hospital, she and my father never spoke a word, and he ran every red light on City Avenue from Delaware all the way to Metropolitan Hospital on City Line Avenue. They were so frozen in fear and so distraught. And no, I did not. I was so absorbed in my own world, and I had so internalized everything and shared the real stuff with no one that I didn't feel connected to anyone except my dog. I call this my birthday because it was really the turning point in my life. My life really began in many ways after the attempt. And that's what I come to share with you. I come to share with you what I know from that experience, and that I empathize, literally, I empathize with the struggle of emotions that one goes through as a teenager, and particularly in later teenage years as we go off to college. I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I know what it is to carry that inside and not be able to share it with anyone. I think I was very busy trying to be the daughter I was supposed to be, the friend I was supposed to be, the student I was supposed to be, the sister I think I had a lot of supposed to be's, and I think I was drowning in my supposed to be's. So I think that I was afraid to be who I really was. I was afraid that wouldn't be good enough, and that I had to be a certain way in order to be accepted or loved or liked, and that's like not getting oxygen. And what's really going on when you're depressed is you're stuck in an emotion, and that emotion is fear. Because there are only two emotions, love and fear. That's it. There are only two emotions, love and fear. Now, your brain is saying, no, she's wrong, because there's depression, and there's anger, and there's rage, and there's anxiety, and on the negative side, and then there's joy, and there's exhilaration. There's all these. No, there are only two emotions, love and fear. Every negative emotion you will ever feel is a derivative of fear. And every happy emotion, every positive emotion you will ever experience is a derivative of love. So when you're depressed, when you're angry, when you're anxious, somewhere inside of you, you're frightened of something. And the goal is to move from fear to love, because that's how you get out of a negative emotion. Whatever that negative emotion is, you get out of it by moving from fear to love.